Let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard.
A good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. It's been a busy week here at High Top. We were live yesterday for SEC Media Day. Obviously, it was SEC Media Day today. Tomorrow, we have our jam-packed show live at 8:35. But today, right now, order of business, we're going to talk about Swam Kings. There was a trailer release. Then we're going to talk about Kirby at his SEC Media Day. Before any of that, we have a special guest. Newly commit Florida Gator, ladies and gentlemen, four-star offensive lineman Fletcher Westphal joining the show here. Fletcher, it is awesome to have you, man. Welcome to the show. Go Gators. How you been? How's your summer been so far, man?
Summer's been amazing. Just had wisdom teeth out, but I'm looking good right now.
We were just talking about that before the show. I texted you last week, like, hey, man, I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed, but next week I'll be good to go. I got mine removed. It took me like 2 weeks to bounce back. I was like, we'll see. Sure enough, you hit me with a message. Hey, man, I'm ready to go. I was like, to be young again. I love it. You do look good, man. You look like I don't believe that you got your wisdom teeth removed, but because of how good you look, man. So glad that all went easy squeezy for you. Now, it's been summer for you so far. Have you been on vacation? Have you done anything? Have you had a chance to have some fun during all of your visits, or has that kind of been your vacation this summer?
So actually, I went to New Orleans for vacation, right? Yep. And when I went to New Orleans, actually, during that trip is when I figured out that, hey, I wanted to go to Florida.
Okay, yeah, I did see that on Alley. So where did you to Louisiana? Is that a family retreat, or is that just a place you guys decided to go to this time?
So I've been to a lot of states, like 30-plus states, 35 states, right? But I've never been to Louisiana. So I really wanted to just get some food, really. Just get some great food. So, we spent just around a week down there, just had plenty of food the entire time. Great. My stomach was full the entire time.
Favorite food there while you were there, real quick?
Gumbo. I had a lot of gumbo while I was there. Favorite food, I think, is probably bone marrow, right? I know that's not particularly a Louisiana type of thing, but it's just we were at a place called Commander's Palace, I believe, and they had it there, and I had to get 2 orders of it.
Let's go. I love it. So I do hear that you're 6'6", like 250 pounds, right?
No, 6'8".
I'm just kidding. I know the whole thing went around. I love it, man. I wanted to bust your chops a little bit. Yeah. No, I know you're much bigger than that. But look, man. So in Louisiana, you said you went for a week. You went to 30 states so far. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Is that something that you and your family like to do? Is travel and go see places? Because you don't just stumble across 30 states. Is that kind of like your little go-to thing?
Yeah. So before kind of all the football stuff, every summer, every winter break was a lot of travel. Every spring break was a lot of travel, right? There was only one place that we hit every summer, which we haven't hit there since I started being a recruit, which was Ocean City, Maryland, right? And, and we would travel all over the country, all over the world, to be honest. I've been to Iceland, I've been to Dubai, I've been to Germany, Poland, Czech Republic. I've been across the globe.
That's incredible, man. And I think, look, you can tell just the way you carry yourself that you're cultured, right? And something with traveling is you learn about different cultures and you're able to carry yourself a different way. For somebody, you're going into your senior year of high school. I'm sure you've heard this, but you do not give me senior high school vibes at all. I saw you talking with your mom and father just a few minutes ago. We were kind of joking back about their wisdom teeth, and just even your relationship, I could tell it's just a very genuine, loving relationship. And the reason I mentioned that is because I've interviewed a slew of recruits from 2024. The commonality of all of you guys is just genuine, great humans that have a phenomenal, family background as well. Do you think that is the class that Billy has been going after, and do you feel the same way with the recruits that you were able to meet so far for 2024?
I definitely think this is the case. I think Coach Napier, you got to have standards for everything. I think that's just the standard for a recruit for the University of Florida. I mean, I just think that's the standard.
Sure. I love that, man. That's fantastic to hear. And obviously, I know the big question too, I kind of want to see if I can pull a little bit different, way out of it. With Florida, what was it that Billy was able to do? Because I know on the Alley Show you talked about that you're much better at run blocking than you are pass blocking, which is going to be a focus for you this summer and obviously moving forward. Did Billy speak to you more so on the run block? Because I think we talk about on the show all the time, that seems to be the scheme that he looks to be running, at least for the future. Was that something that he emphasized for you, or was he more vague than that?
I mean, he wasn't really emphasizing too much about like just anything in particular. Like it was really Coach Sale and Coach Stape that kind of just harped on the or not harped, but just talked about blocking in general, just football stuff.
Okay.
Coach Nape, he stayed away from it unless it was kind of like the basic, how's your season gonna look type of question. Um, it, but me and Coach Napier, it was really just like man on man talk. He pulled me aside plenty of times during my official visit. I even talked to him a bunch on my game day visit. I was on a 2-day game day visit. Even on my spring visit, I talked to him a bunch. It's just it's a man on man talk.
So
Always,
more relationship building, not X's and O's talk then.
yeah, more relationship building. It's not all about football, and I think that's kind of why I'm at Florida. I built a great relationship with the coaches there, and you flip that switch when you need to talk about football, but when you're not, I mean, you just you enjoy yourself.
I think that's a good point because, and I try to avoid it. It's hard not to. Obviously, you're here to talk about football. You know that, but it's easy to get really into the X's and O's sometimes. But again, at the end of the day, when you're not on the football field, you're just like the rest of us. You're a normal human being. It's nice to have a refreshing conversation. So it's good to hear again that Billy is taking that approach of, look, he's trying to make sure you feel as comfortable as possible and not grill you when you come. You said you were on a 2-day game visit. What game was that you were here for?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, big game there, big game, big W. How was the energy at UF? Was that your first game at UF?
Yeah, first game.
Talk to me, man. How did it feel being at a UF game? Now, I want to compare it to, did you go to a Clemson and Arkansas game? Because those were your other two in your final three.
Yeah, I'd been I've been on a game day visit at a lot of schools, but yes, I was at a game day visit at those schools as well.
Okay, so how did the Swamp compare to those schools?
So one Swamp is they have some of the most interactive fans that I've been on. I guess since like my freshman year, I've been on like 20 plus game day visits, right? Uh, it, the Swamp, the fans in the Swamp, all 88,000 of them are so interactive with just all the tradition, right? I mean, everyone's doing the Swamp Jump, everyone's singing along. Everyone's so interactive, right? I can't really put it into words, but
No,
when you see 80,000 people together, all doing the same thing, they're all having fun, right? It's you don't really see that everywhere.
no, look, I think Florida fans know exactly what you're talking about. It's hard to put into words the feeling that you have in the Swamp, and I think you trying to explain it explains it perfectly. It's something special, and it really is incredible, man. Real quick, we got a super chat. Like I said, the fans I'm sure they had some questions from Chris Sorley. He's always got great questions. He goes, Fletcher, my man, quick question. What are your expectations for the Gators this season? Before you show up, are you looking forward to building back Florida?
Most definitely looking forward to building back. I mean, I believe that Coach Napier has the tools to do it, and I just heading in the right direction. I think this season, I think Coach Napier is still rebuilding. I believe it'll be so. Right now, I know that they have the hardest schedule pretty much in college football. If you have the hardest schedule in the SEC, you have the hardest schedule in college football. Um, it, it's gonna be a hard season regardless of the outcome of the season. That does not change my mind at all. I know it will be a hard season. Um, it's just, I
The
haven't
way
really looked to the schedule, but I mean, it's just, I know they're the hardest season or the hardest schedule in college football.
A lot of fans ask that too. Like, what if the season doesn't go the way that we want it to go? Recruits going to get nervous. But I think a lot of you have, just like you just said, have the expectations. Like, look, it's a tough schedule, and you understand the state of Florida and where it's at, but also where it's headed. We're not worried about what's going on right now. We hope good things happen, but I also know that I'm part of putting it back to where it needs to be. And you got to think, like you just said, it's the hardest schedule in college football. Being in the SEC, and Florida seems to find a way to play some tough teams week in and week out. But that's also what you want, right? That's how you get to the next level, is by playing the best level of competition week in and week out. You don't get better by playing cupcake games. And obviously for fans, it's fun to watch. It's stressful to watch, but it is more fun to watch. So I think it's going to settle a lot of people. Like, look, I'm bought in. I'm locked in no matter what. That kind of leads to my next question. A lot of commits are starting to commit sooner and sooner, it feels like. And I wanted to ask, what was it that made you commit this early versus going through more visits or waiting to go through, to more games and dragging out a little bit? What caused you to commit in July?
So I have already taken 88 total visits. I think
Wow.
I have taken more visits than any other athlete overall,
Thorough.
and I'm
Okay.
ready to get it everything done with. Right? I'll make my decision, stay locked in. I'm not gonna be one of those kids who flips 3 or 4 times. I'm locked in with the University of Florida. Right? And it's it was one of those things where it's like, originally I was gonna commit at the end of like July, right? But I had known my decision since July 1st. I'm like, well, what's the point of waiting to the end of July? I know my decision. I'm gonna tell the coaches in a few days when I get back. All right. It was like, what's the point of waiting to
Yeah.
commit if I know where I want to, play football at? If I where I
Sure.
want to know where I'm gonna go to college, right?
Sure.
And so there's no point in really waiting for me or waiting to do that. Now, I know some people's journeys start later. I started being I guess, a Power Five football recruit my freshman year just because of my size.
I was going to ask
Um,
that. Okay. Interesting.
yeah, I mean, my first offer was Penn State. I got that June of 21, I think.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
it's been over 2 years at this point, and I mean, it is a blessing, but I mean, sometimes it does put a lot on your schedule. I mean, I remember, calling 5 or 6 coaches a day, in the middle of like my sophomore year. And then that's when you narrow down your schools. And, Florida came in the game late, but they came in swinging. So it just, I went on a game day visit. I loved it, put them in the top five, went on a spring visit. I mean, it was just, I loved everything about Florida.
That's cool hearing you break that down. I think we as fans, we see kind of towards the end of the recruiting cycle, once we start paying attention, you're to your top 20, top 10. But at this point, you've been chauffeured around in a sense and been spoke to and talked to by a lot of coaches and being recruited for quite some time. So when you get to the top 15, you're really starting to hone it down. And that kind of makes sense of like, look, the top 15 is kind of let yourself know and everybody else know I'm focused. Here's where the next step's going to go and who I plan to really try to build a relationship to go to that next step. I love hearing them. That's great. Thank you for breaking that all down for sure as well. The next thing too, the offensive line position, just the lineman position in general. My little brother, he plays lineman. Typically, that's a position that you almost get thrown into. Kids don't run to the football field to go, I want to be a lineman. Was that the case for you, or did you show up and go, no, this is what I want to be? Because I feel like to where you are, how you're ranked, and how excelled you are in your position, I feel like you've been pretty dialed in for quite some time now. To like, hey, this is my role.
So I played football like in first grade. I can't remember none of that, if I'm being honest. But I when I really started playing football was in sixth grade, right? And so in our little like local youth league, they had this thing called red dots, right? And so I was really skinny when I was in sixth grade. I was not kind of like lineman weight. I didn't look like a lineman. So if they didn't have like red dots or anything, I'd probably be playing tight end right now, if we're being brutally honest. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, I enjoyed the physical violence of it. I mean, it was just, you get to go out in the field, you get to, punch someone in the throat. I mean, you just get to hit someone, and then I was like, okay, cool, I like this. And then I had a really good coach eighth grade year, Coach Hager, and you know, I was that was kind of he played O line at West Virginia, right?
Okay.
And he was coaching, CYFL, that's what it was called, and he was my coach. Obviously, I'm the biggest kid in the entire league, right? In the entire county, really. Um,
Sure.
and and so he's actually coaching me up. Like I'm getting real coaching in eighth grade. I'm like, I like this. I like football, right? I'm not just playing it because my friends are playing it. I'm playing it because I actually enjoy the sport. And that's when I made the decision. All right, we're gonna go into freshman year, play football. That's gonna be my sport for the entirety of high school and hopefully college.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you were able to, have that coach who was able to come in at an early stage and kind of teach you the ropes early on. Not everybody's blessed, like you said, with that, that option to do that. Gator Josh wants to know, what is your relationship with DJ Lagway?
I haven't talked with him all too much. I haven't ever met him in person. Just
Okay.
obviously haven't kind of linked up together. Just with talking to him, just occasionally over text. I mean, I like him. I like what he's about. I know he's an athletic quarterback. I know he's very skilled, and I just can't wait to be blocking for him.
Absolutely. And do you plan to enroll early in January?
Absolutely.
All right, I love that. It seems to be a trend with the Florida Gator recruits. So you guys are all focused. Somebody asked too, is your mom still think that it's hot in Florida? She's still concerned about the heat.
Yeah, I think she just put that in the little pros and cons thing just to make sure there only just wasn't. She come here. She's like,
Go clear the air, Mama. Clear the air for us.
What was it?
she was the pros and cons list where you said it's hot.
Oh, I only had 2 cons.
Yeah, it
The
was
con was
hot.
Rebuilding program and that it was hot.
Is it hot in Florida?
It's hot in Florida, so it couldn't be one. I had to make up the heat. So
It's not a con. It's a fact. It's blistering down here. I don't want to walk outside, so you're not alone.
we're trying to steer him in one direction or the other. So
And how excited are you for him to be at Florida?
right.
Yes.
And how excited is she for you to be at Florida?
Oh, she's very excited.
We're house hunting.
Okay, you're moving down here then.
Yeah, we are. We'll follow him. He's an only child. We're on our professional careers, so
That's awesome. And so you're looking at Gainesville's a beautiful place to live. I was just there. A lot of my family lives there. I love visiting Gainesville. Is that where you plan on? I'm staying pretty close to Gainesville, I'm assuming.
No, we want to be probably 2 hours away from him because we want him to have his independence and.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's cool. So, I mean, I don't be too nosy, but go ahead.
Up at our, and we don't want him showing up at our house to eat.
that's fair. I didn't think of that. So how, not to be nosy, but where? I'm from Florida. So where in Florida are you guys looking at right now? If you need any help, I mean.
We don't know yet, but we'll find a little bit more when we come down to the cookout. But we're thinking Tampa, Clearwater,
Okay.
St. Pete, something like that. So he can come visit, but pop in for dinner, right?
Nope. That's perfect. It's a nice healthy distance.
That's your plan.
Awesome. Well, congrats to you guys, and good luck on your move. Awesome, man. Good stuff. And so, obviously, Gator Josh, I don't know if you remember, but I'm pretty sure you made a video saying, I hope I made your birthday wish, or tagged him. Do you remember that when you committed?
Yeah, his son Jackson. Yeah.
Yep, that was his son. So he had the same question for DJ. So Gator Nation's pretty incredible. It's a phenomenal fan base. How has it been for you since committing to Florida? Just the overwhelming, I'm assuming, love from Florida. And how's your life changed?
I mean, it's been crazy in a good way. I remember when I committed, right? I thought my phone was getting calls, but it was all the notifications from Twitter, and I don't even have notifications turned on for any other social media. So it was Twitter, and then I had to turn my phone on do not disturb. And I later, and I had it was Twitter plus 4,000 notifications, and it was whoa, that was crazy. Yeah, the Gator Nation is I mean, yeah,
Unmatched.
I don't have words for it. Yeah, there is. I don't have words for it. Yeah, My mom's in sports marketing or is it sports management or sports marketing? I should sports management. So she's in a sports management thing in Liberty University. So she was looking up SEC like media brands, and Florida is number 3 in the SEC behind I think LSU and Alabama, right?
Okay.
But I mean, I think I think it's a little higher than 3, just after kind of what I've experienced, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's it's been like relentless support.
Yeah, dude, Gator Nation, man, it's something special. I mean, we have, basically this entire channel is backed by Gator Nation, so it's really incredible. It's fun to be a part of. I mean, it's stressful because it's just the energy. We want to win, but it is something. It's fun to be a part of as well. I have a little graphic here I wanted to go over. So again, 6'8", 335 is your overall. Is that right? Am I off there on the numbers?
No, I mean that's right around accurate. I probably weigh around 335 right now.
Okay, fantastic. And then your top 20 offensive linemen in the country, man. So good stuff there. I do want to do a little fun little rapid round questions, if you don't mind. I kind of wanted to. You're a blast to talk to, man. I'm really enjoying this interview, and I do appreciate you hopping on here as well. Before we do the rapid round, though, tell them where they can find you to keep blowing up your Twitter and Instagram, or any other social media that you have.
Boy, I literally just type in Fletcher Westphal into anything. I think I am the only person who has his name who's on social media. So just type Westphal anywhere, and I'm there.
Fair enough. Makes sense. All right, man, you ready? First question is favorite food.
Bone marrow.
Really? I was not prepared for that at all. Okay, interesting. Favorite drink.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Dr. Pepper slaps. Okay. Hobbies besides football.
I mean, I hang out with my friends a lot. But probably video gaming, just like every other high school kid, really.
What's the game though?
I play. It really depends on like what I'm in the mood for.
Okay.
A lot of the times I'll just sit on like GTA and I'll just drive around the map like 18 times while listening to music. So it's really just me listening to music while like racing in the car.
Feel that. You play Madden?
No, surprisingly not.
Ooh, I was gonna say I'd take on the sticks if we needed to. Have you played that new game, the Up game? You know what I'm talking about? Like where you have to like.
Oh, I know what it's called on social media before, but I haven't played it. No.
Yeah, I haven't either, but it's been all over my feed, and I'm like, what is this game? It's like it's one of those games that kind of surges and then goes away. Do you cut? This is not. I mean, this is a weird question. You may or may not understand this. Is the right way of cutting a sandwich diagonally or perpendicular?
No, you got to cut it into squares.
4 squares?
4 squares.
Why you brought a third option? I wasn't even prepared for. That's a good one. I didn't even think of that. Look, this guy's on the ball, bro. I love it. Way to take that and just completely just toss my question out. That's the best. What's a weird fact about you that nobody knows? I'll hold back.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really do anything too weird.
You like to sing in the shower? Like what's like? Come
Oh,
on now.
Who doesn't do that?
That's fair.
Who does?
I love it, dude. Here's what I love about offensive linemen, man. You guys are just so bubbly and such a good personality. Like, you don't get enough love because you're just the big guy in the room, but you're like the silent sleeping giants, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Who doesn't do that? I have my own like dedicated shower speaker.
Okay, what's your go-to song?
Oh, okay, "Glamorous" by Fergie. That song always, like, when it comes on. I listened to it like 4 times on the way to lift this morning, actually.
Oh, dude, I love it, man. Now, so real quick, I got a lot of flack for this a little while back, where I talked about shower thoughts. Like you're in the shower and you have like an epiphany, like an aha moment. That's relatable, right?
No.
Damn, Fletch, come on, bro. You got a shower speaker? You're gonna leave me hanging out there to dry like that?
No, because I got my shower speaker, right? But I don't think in the shower. I don't have like I know what shower thought is, where it's like a raccoon might be in my like garbage can right now or something like that. Or it's like just or like a random thought. But like when I'm in the shower, like it's I got the music going on. I only play music that I know the lyrics to when I'm in the shower. Or I play like house music, which is just like I don't know, I just like it because you just
Like
like start
EDM?
vibing out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kygo? Yeah.
Or man, I mean, and then it's just my playlist is very. I have like 5,600 songs, 5,700 songs. My playlist is it's all over the place. I mean,
Big music guy. I love that. I'm a big music guy myself. I'm a little upset that you left me out there to dry for the shower thoughts, but I'll take it on the chin. I always do. I appreciate at least acknowledging you know what I was talking about. So that's good. Last question here, man, and I'll let you go again. I appreciate you coming on here. Go Gators. But what would you say is your most used emoji on your phone?
the just like the crying one where like the tears are flooding down.
The laughing, crying one?
No, not the laughing crying one.
Oh,
It's
the
just
straight down, straight down.
straight down crying one. Yeah, because I use that for like my like laughing thing. Either that or the probably the gator emoji in the past since I committed.
That's fair. That's taking the
Yeah.
search to the top. You're going to have to get the glasses emojis too. Hopefully we start landing some more commits. Hey, can you give us a hint? Can you give us like a nod of like there's more to come? Or do you?
I have no clue. If I'm honest.
Okay, that's fair. Well, Fletcher, man, I appreciate you. I think that the fans appreciated this interview. It's been a blast. Your dad's in the chat. It says 80s baby, Chris Westphal. So happy to see that your dad's in here. Shout out to Pops.
He's in the other room right now. I can go.
I think he's in the chat. He's saying he's watching us right now. But Fletch, shout out to your mom and your dad as well for being awesome and being such good sports during this. And thank you again for reaching back out, saying, "Hey, I'm ready to go." That means a lot to me. It shows that you appreciate and care about what we're doing here. So thanks again, man, and good luck to you in your senior season. Hope that you kill it and crush it. And we're really happy to have you here at the Florida Gators, man.
Absolutely.
All right, man. You be good and be safe and enjoy the rest of your summer until you gotta get back to the ground, boss.
Oh, I'm already running right now.
That's fair enough. Go Gators, boss.
Yep, go Gators.
All right, man. Well, boys and girls, that was Fletcher Westphal there, the 4-star offensive lineman. Incredible young man. That was an absolute blast. That was a fun interview that I had there with him. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If I missed your questions, I do apologize. I'd like to, sometimes focus on the interview and make sure that we have just a nice, genuine conversation. Incredible. Blast. Obviously, a great personality. Still a little upset about the shower thought thing. I thought for sure like he would, you're singing in the shower. Like you're tuned in, right? Maybe it's just me. The professor says Jalen Hayward decommits from Georgia. Gotta love that, right? Gotta love that. Super chat from Dom says, who's better at Madden, Shelton or Fletcher? Well, it's gotta be me because he doesn't play. So it's gotta be me, right? Look, boys and girls, we still have a lot to go over today. Obviously, there's more to talk about. The Swamp news dropped today. There was a trailer, so we're going to watch the trailer and react to that because we're just sniffing at it at this point, right? We're just getting ready to rock and roll. And I'm excited to obviously watch this and just talk about it with everybody and go over it. So let's just enjoy this together. Somebody, Florida Recruiting clipped it up perfectly, so we have to watch because there's 4 shows coming out from Untold. But this is just the Florida trailer, so let's dive into that here.
Gator football. There's no second place trophies.
We train like soldiers.
This team had a chance to be so special, and we were so close to doing it.
I felt like I was like a rock star.
It was like, man, this is how it is being a big-time college athlete.
Another Florida Gator has been arrested.
Everything is win or lose, praise or embarrassment. Everything.
This is going to be unfucking believable.
I've watched this like 9 times, and I've
40.
gotten goosebumps every single time. It's absolutely incredible. I'm fired up for it. I know you guys are fired up for it. I love that Tebow's in it. And hearing them again after so many years to talk about it, and again, you're a superstar, you're a rock star. Think about this time too. I mean, there was social media really wasn't a thing, and you kind of lived in this world in Gainesville And that's all it was, right? Nothing else really existed outside of that. Now you don't have this much anymore because of social media. But at the time, you go to a school like this and you're winning national championships. I mean, you are him. Obviously, Major Wright was shown in this. Dallas Baker was shown in this. Brandon Spikes was shown in this. To hear from Tebow and Urban is going to be huge. I think they did a great job of getting kind of, the bullet points there. Percy Harvin, as we know, is not in this. But again, the question mark with this too is how much of the story is going to be told? Right? How much of the drama and just of the unknown, right? It's the untold. So we're hoping to get something that we don't already know as fans. I don't know what the expectation for all of you is. I'm going to be happy, I think, regardless. I'm a pretty harsh critic, though, when it comes to movies and TV shows, etc. But again, the Manti Te'o one is something that I keep pointing back to because I think they did a phenomenal job of really telling the story and making you walk away going, wow, that actually was more than what I thought it was, or making you think about something and not just, you left away feeling satisfied, feeling full. I think that's going to be something important for them to be able to hopefully accomplish. I think they have the right pieces involved, so we'll see. But I'm fired up for it. I am absolutely, jazzed up to watch it. They also have Johnny Manziel, a story about him, which I am pumped to see Johnny Manziel. I think Johnny Manziel, in my opinion, could be more diabolical or more of a attraction because Johnny is a firecracker. Even in the interview, the trailer, he was like, imagine, he goes, I came home and there was 100,000 stuffed underneath my bed. Johnny's not going to hold any punches. He does not care. His image is already just basically kind of grayed out. Tebow still has an image to uphold. He's not going to give you everything. Brandon Spikes has an image, right, that he's trying to uphold still. So they're not going to just go out there and just drag people's names. Johnny doesn't give a absolute flying flippity F, right? So he's going to just, I don't know what he's going to say. Put that guy on a mic and he sends it. He does it in podcast already. So that one's going to be an absolute banger as well. And that comes out, I think, August 1st. That's the first one that comes out. Then there's a Barry Bonds one as well, and Jake Paul, the boxer. So we will see. Animal says, hey, the big dog, it's Animal. I hope you're well. Good to see you, man. Happy to have you here. Make sure you guys, again, show some love. Drop a like. Subscribe if you are new. Happy to have you guys as always. I'm pumped to see this and the Manziel documentary. Yeah. Also, Tebow going to chew Urban out for swearing. I love it. I love it. Georgia wants their Netflix special. They're out here working hard on it. I love it. That's good. That is good. All right. Well, the Swamp Kings, again, that was, we're getting closer. So we got a little teaser today. That felt good. But next order of business is Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart at SEC Day. Here's what I learned from listening to Kirby Smart today. Who else did we have today? I think Vandy went today. That was boring as all get out. Mississippi State went. Hugh Freeze went. And Kirby were the four. From what I've seen so far, Kirby's been the best. And I think somebody else said he won the press conference. The guy's dialed in, dude. It is what it is. I know you guys are going to hate me for saying it, but my goodness, dude. Just look. He encompasses what's happening. So this is when you listen to a head coach talk, you're getting a taste, you're getting a spice of what's happening inside that organization. And I think you can kind of get a pulse of what's going on. This guy has managed, in my opinion, the pressures of winning back-to-back and now the pressure of three-peating tremendously. And again, haven't had the season yet, and I know I already hear some of you going, "Oh, you're just a Georgia homer." Look, as much as I'm a Gator fan, I like to still kind of have a non-fanatic opinion on things. I like to have a general conversation about this. So just let me have a second, okay? Quick takeaways from it is complacency. And that's the biggest thing that he preached. Now, I think complacency is a little bit easier to overcome when you're playing at a college level because you're not having to worry about, you got guys are leaving, going to the NFL. You've got a new wave of guys coming into the league. That helps a little bit, right? But again, like that's what is it when you're going on a three-peat? You still have a majority of your team. How do you not get stuck in a rut? How do you not have that hangover that everybody talks about? And he mentions it. Look, complacency. We don't want to fall into complacency. So how do we make ourselves uncomfortable week in and week out? how he does that is changing it up. And this is what I'm talking about. It's things like this. Not everybody gives their playbook, so I'm not saying that nobody else is doing this, but I think what's important to note here is by him exposing his playbook, by letting you know here's what we're doing, shows that he's not even worried about it. But changing up, the New Zealand All Blacks. It's a rugby team out in New Zealand that has the most winning record of all time. They know how they avoid complacency, how to have a winning, consistent record, how do they continue year over year to be as dominant as they are. And he goes, we had a different mentality last year. We had a different approach last year. This is our approach this year with you using the New England All Black team, which again, it's a mindset. It's just showing the level of where they're at. Everybody came out and kind of just gave you the hoorah, coach talk, bananas. The way his speech was delivered, it was to a point. I mean, he had a story about Brock Bowers. The story about Brock Bowers is absolutely incredible, just showing his work ethic and the leadership that Brock carries. That guy is an absolute treat, coming all the way from California to play at Georgia. I mean, big time stuff. And here's why I'm also telling you guys all of this. The Florida fans that are going to be haters are going to be like, you're just blowing Georgia. No, I'm simply looking at that is the top. That is what we're looking to do. What people have to realize is when you see something that you like or see something that you want, we want to be national champions. We want to be that successful. When you see somebody who is encompassing that, instead of hating on it, instead of spitting at it and just going gross and trying to find the holes in it, look at what they're doing well. Yes, there is negatives that are involved with it currently. Ignore those things. Take what they're doing well and try to adapt it to your own philosophy. He talks about how he uses what he learned from Nick Saban. In an interview with Josh Pate today, he goes, look, Josh asked him, do you write this stuff down? Are you going to, not necessarily to write a book, but if you want to write a book, we'll read it. I'll read it, right? But again, the blueprint that you've created so far, do you write it down? He goes, I'm not much of a writer, but it's all in my memory bank, which is even more incredible to think about because there's so many moving pieces. But also speaks to, again, his leadership because he talks about putting more into the people around him, relying more on them, empowering the people around him. Again, these guys coming from that Nick Saban era, and he's fresher, he's younger, more motivated, so he's able to, I think, apply a little bit better than, let's say, what Saban is doing currently. Billy Napier, I know he's only a wide receiver coach at Nick Saban, but you got to believe that he comes from that same type of mentality. He was also under Dabo Swinney, who has been successful. The people that he has surrounded himself around have been successful. Now he has placed himself next to Kirby Smart. And I got to thinking about this Kirby Smart situation because Kirby Smart got poached by Alabama from Southern Miss, and then we poached him from Alabama. Everybody knows what Saban does. Saban doesn't fire anybody. He pushes them out to go get a new job, right? And I got to thinking, what if Billy did that with Patrick Toney? All hypothetical here, but what if he pushed Patrick to go find another job? And then we go get Kirby, little baby Kirby and Austin Armstrong. It's just a thought, right? Because again, if he's taken after the things that Saban's done, you go out and you fire Patrick Toney after year one. It's not a good look. As much as we would be like, oh, thank goodness he fired him, there would have been a lot of scratch in the head. So it's like, look, this relationship isn't working like I thought. I could be way off here, but I'm just kind of putting some pieces together here. Looking at it now, just how well Austin Armstrong has been able to come in and establish himself. I don't know, man. It just something doesn't seem like it was Patrick came in and said, "Hey, I'm leaving," and Billy was left on his back foot. The transition has been so smooth. I don't remember Patrick Toney leaving. That's how smooth it's been, which is complimentable to Billy, also to Austin as well. So look, good stuff there. And the last takeaway, what did I have? Better never rest. That is the mantra from the New Zealand All Blacks. That is what they say, and that's what he has been preaching to his team, as in he being Kirby Smart is better never rest. So we will see. But all in all, I mean, the rest of it was kind of boring. But tomorrow is going to be exciting. Obviously, Billy Napier is going to be on the podium. Excited to hear from him. He was ranked, I think, the most boring coach from all down south, which they're not wrong. He's very dry. Hopefully we get a little cheddar and juice tomorrow. Hopefully we get something. Maybe Paul Feinbaugh will pull something out of him. I don't know. I'm hoping we get something. Maybe Josh Pate will have an interview with him. We're going to be all over it tomorrow, ready to rock and roll, prepared for our show at 8:35. So we'll be tuned in for it for sure. I need to get a little bit of juice there. But yeah, tomorrow should be exciting. The last day is gonna be the best day of the SEC Media Day with Lane Kiffin, Beamer, and Josh Heupel. Those are gonna, in my opinion, be the most exciting ones to talk about. It's been a very, I would say, quiet week, SEC Media Week, compared to last week. Last week was much more intense than it was. I feel like there was a lot more drama going on, obviously, with the Jimbo. But everyone seems to be kind of following their P's and Q's, going through the motions, not saying too much at all. And just, again, everybody's hungry and motivated and ready to rock and roll. And chasing Georgia. The comparison and the talk all week this week at SEC Media Week is it's Georgia, and then who we going after next? Is it Bama? It's fun watching people talk about Bama because, look, I've got a lot of question marks with Bama. I really do. I think we keep riding on the fact that it is Nick Saban, and I understand that, but back-to-back, seasons where he hasn't he hasn't won the championship, which is the first time for I don't know how long, which is crazy to think about. But you had a team last year. You had Will Anderson Jr., the best defensive player that we've seen in a very long time. That was a first-round draft pick, I think the third-round draft pick, and then the number one overall draft pick in the to the NFL. And you lose 2 games? One to Tennessee, who ended up losing 3 games, and then to LSU as well. And it's not lack of talent. You're more talented than both of those teams. Did you get out coached? Did you get out beat by Brian Kelly and Josh Heupel? Is that what happened? And look, 9-2 and winning the bowl game is much greater than what Billy was able to do. But we criticize the hell out of Billy for having a first-round draft pick, not near as amount of talent that Alabama has had, and going obviously 6-7. But look, I think if you look at it, it's not as far off as you think. Again, you just heard Fletcher talk about the talent that is in the SEC, and the strength of schedule is absolutely insane. So, look, we'll see. This season's getting fired up. This week right here really gets everybody jazzed up and spiced up for what's to come. All we can do right now is talk about what could be and what should be. LSU is really starting to find their rhythm. Look, I think they talk about this week. The rankings will come out following this week, which tells me that they definitely take into consideration the mood coming from the speeches, from how the coaches talk. Definitely has a factor in how they feel these teams are going to perform, in my opinion. Mississippi State, in my opinion, I think is a little highly rated for most people. I think they're going to fall back this year, especially with the new head coach. I just don't see them picking up where they left off. I really don't, even though people have them higher than I think most should. Texas A&M is a huge question mark, in my opinion. I think the top 4 is going to be Georgia, Bama, LSU, and Tennessee. And everybody else is up for grabs. It really is. Kentucky is with a kind of a new facelift, right back to with everybody else. Vandy, who knows what Vandy can do at this point? Are they going to crush it? I don't know. Mizzou, I talked with them yesterday. They're my dark knight for the SEC, and they're in a great position with where the SEC is to steal a few, which will be fun to watch. Florida is an unknown question mark, but it's a fun unknown question mark. I think this is where, look, Billy has answered a lot of haters in this offseason. This last year and a half that he's been the head coach for Florida, it's been just constantly negative. Can he recruit? Can he do this? Can he do that? And he hasn't really he wasn't answering the ball. That recruiting class was great. Wasn't what I think we all expected it to be. He had the drama with a few quarterbacks. A lot of things just did not go his way last year. And obviously the losses didn't help either. But what was great is it didn't allow it to deter him, because obviously where we've been recruiting this year thus far, things are moving in the right direction. And now we just need to see the next piece, which is, can he coach? Can he make the right calls? Can he establish himself as a solidified coach and be able to work out the kinks that we saw last year? So, rock and roll. Josh P. Sheldon, are you really that high on Tennessee as a top 4 lock? It's not that I'm high on Tennessee. It's more than I'm low on everybody else. Okay, I think Josh Heupel with his play calling. Look, I think Hendon Hooker was good. Was he that good? Was he that good to where he made him beat Alabama? I think they lost one wide receiver, but for the most part, that team's coming back. I still think they're lightning in a bottle. I believe that. I just think that they're what's available. I think Ole Miss could fight. Maybe I'll put them in top 5 because I think Ole Miss is up there as well too. I honestly, I think I do. I think Ole Miss isn't getting enough love. They got their quarterback coming back in Jackson Dart. The quarterback room is pretty thick as it is. It's Lane Kiffin. The guy's going to sling the football around. I think it's honestly, he just kind of quit at the end. I don't know. It's a weird. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's weird. But I still think Bama will be pissed and on a mission. Here's the part that we keep forgetting about with Bama. And Steve and I talked about at the beginning of last year, because last year, this time, SEC Media Day, Saban said the year prior to last year was the rebuilding year, meaning we're all locked in. This is the best this team is going to be. We are at its peak, and he wasn't wrong. Bryce Young's dialed in. You've got Will Anderson on the other side of the ball. I mean, you've got two elite players that are your team is circling around, backing it with elite recruiting classes for the last decade, okay? You were right where you need to be. And you didn't just fall short. You didn't even make it to fall short. And so now where are you? There's a huge question mark at quarterback, which I don't feel like we've had this question mark in a very long time for Alabama. I can't remember the last time we didn't know who was going to be the guy rolling into Tuscaloosa. It's been a long time since that's happened. Obviously, Will Anderson's gone. Wide receiver situation. It's just a lot of question marks than normal. There's a rumor that he's going to avoid Radio Lane or whatever it's called out there, where basically you go through and you do interviews. He's planning on skipping that, which is interesting. Right, you're not going to do your due diligence. He's going to do the press conference and do the stuff inside, but I guess they go through and do just other podcasts outside of the main media. And the rumor I heard today on the Fine Ball Show is that he plans to skip all of that, which is something to think about too. Why is that? What's your reasoning behind skipping out on those questions? Not wanting to deal with the heat? I don't know. I do not know. Ooh, man. Good stuff. It's been fun. This is kind of, we're at the lowest point, in my opinion, I think, of the off season. You're kind of you're at the high of the college football season, for the last few months. Recruiting's been really, really fun and exciting. And then we're at this peak now where SEC Media Day is here, but it's just kind of guys talking, So glad to have all you guys here for sure. If we went 8-4 with this young squad that would be the step in the right direction. I couldn't agree more, especially with the schedule. Going 8-4 for Florida is huge. J&J Trucking, Tennessee is trash. They'll bench Milton at halftime in the Florida game. Look, I love that energy too. I think this is where, and watching the SEC Media Day, obviously I'm thinking like a fan too, but I wanted to take a step back and go, look, here's the reason why everyone feels this way. Because of you have to just go off what you thought or what we know. And where we're at right now, Mertz could come out there and absolutely sling the football. Because Auburn, people have Auburn very high, who's coming off of back-to-back losing seasons as well, with a brand new head coach, with multiple atrocious recruiting classes going back farther than Florida has. Yet they're favored to win more than Florida, and I think more favored to finish higher in the West than Florida is in the East, because of how much they believe in Hugh Freeze. Their quarterback, mind you, again, much more. If you look at it, they're going to say he's better than Graham Mertz. But I wonder where he ranked, because I think he ranked 5th in the Big Ten, but a Big Ten quarterback nonetheless. Let me see where this lands here. Big Ten quarterback rankings for 2022. Let's see this here. C.J. Stroud. Okay, hold on. Peyton Thorne was number 7. Graham Mertz was number 9. And look, that quarterback class, C.J. Stroud, J.J. McCarthy, both guys, one was a Heisman finalist. One could have been. One probably will be this year. Tyler Tagovailoa from Maryland, who's an absolute beast. Sean Clifford from Penn State. Aiden O'Connell from Purdue. Tommy DeVito from Illinois. Then Peyton. Casey Thompson at Nebraska. Then Graham Mertz, and the last 3 quarterbacks there. So, look, my point is that Auburn also having a Big Ten quarterback, but it's still favored over Florida. But Peyton Thorne showed up way later than Graham Mertz. So, there's a lot of love and a lot of belief in Hugh Freeze. I understand he did a lot of great things at Liberty. So did Billy at Louisiana. So, I don't know. It's weird how the process is thought about, It'd be nice if we could land a chance. Billy's tomorrow. Yeah, Billy's tomorrow, 2:30, I believe. I'd shit myself in happiness if we went 8-4. I love it. Dave Waters had a guy on his podcast say we're going 5 or 7 or 6-6. Was he a Gator guy? I mean, look, the schedule's tough. Like it's not like an unrealistic number. It's going to be brutal. I mean, you've got Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina is going to be tough. We don't play A&M, do we? Florida State. There's 4 games right there that are going to be brutal. Utah. That's 5 games right there. 5 games that could go anywhere. Kentucky's going to be tough. There's 6 games right there. There's 6 games right there that there's not like in the years past, you'd roll, okay, Tennessee, Kentucky, W. Vandy, W, right? Florida State feels pretty good about that, W. It's going to be a tough one, but we're better than them, no problemo, right? That's not the case right now. It is what it is. It's fact. You guys can get upset, but that's just where we're at, you know? No, he's a magazine guy. Was it Will? Yeah, Hayward decommitted from Georgia. Is that all over Twitter? We can talk about that one for a minute before we go. The drama right now with here he is. Jalen Hayward tells me decommitted. Top 100 recruit. Safety. Do we need another safety though? Interesting though, decommit there. Especially while, Dad's away working. We get Utah. I think Utah's gonna be a good game. I think we can beat Utah as well. But look, it's not like it's gonna be just a walk in the park game, right? That's all I'm saying. I don't know who the guy is then. El Neal. But hey guys, I appreciate y'all as always hopping in here, hanging out with us. Super chat, $5 from Animal says if Napier goes 8-4, 7-5, would you all be happy and want Napier back next year? That includes Shelton. I want Napier back regardless of the record, so I would be ecstatic. It would if he goes that, it would make this job a little less intense because the people wouldn't be yelling. They could be good in KJ Bolden. That could be the reason for the decommit. Yeah, that wouldn't be a shocker there. But hey guys, you guys be good. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe. Be here tomorrow, 8:35 live. It is the show of the week, best day of the week. It's Wednesday. You guys be good, behave. Love you as always. Thank you again for stopping by. Go show Fletcher Westphal some love and tell him thanks for hopping on the show. You guys rock.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll